Welcome to Let's Talk, and we have two special guests with us this morning. Monica Simpson, Public Relations Specialist with the Labette Center for Mental Health Services, and you have a gentleman who is going to be a guest speaker at an upcoming event. Why don't you tell us about that?
Yeah, thanks, Annette. This is Monica with Labette Center for Mental Health, and we are right now preparing for our National Recovery Month event that we hold every year. This is the 4th annual event that we have called An Evening of Recovery, and we always hold the event during Suicide Awareness Week, sometime around Suicide Awareness Prevention Day, which is actually September 10th. This year, our event will be held on the evening of September 8th, which is Thursday night. And our keynote speaker this year is going to be Mike Veny, who is the founder of TransformingStigma.com. Mike, I'll let you kind of say hi.
Hi, everyone. If you're listening, this is going to be my first ever trip to Kansas. I'm from New York City, and I've only heard about Kansas, so I'm super excited to be there. And I'm going to be talking about mental health. And for a lot of you out there that are listening, mental health is sometimes a subject that we feel doesn't relate to us. And sometimes we have a stereotype of what a person who is struggling with a mental health issue looks like or behaves like. But the reality is it affects all of us. It affects, depression. People struggle with depression, people struggle with anxiety, and even if you don't struggle with any of those in a severe way, we all experience stress sometimes at work. And I always say to people, people might say they don't have mental health issues, but everyone experiences stress, and if you don't deal with your stress, it will quickly turn into a very severe mental health issue. So it's a subject that I want to talk about, and I want to encourage people to take care of themselves and find ways of just getting the help that they need and living their best life possible.
And, Mike, this being National Recovery Month and specifically this week being National Suicide Prevention Week, I know we've shared stories about how important it is for people to understand that recovery is possible and that there are treatments out there. And I know you have found multiple different ways to help with recovering from mental illness. And if you'd kind of talk a little bit about some of those things that you do.
Sure. One of the challenges that people have when they discover that they have a mental health issue or a loved one has a mental health issue is they immediately lose hope. It can be a very devastating thing. And in fact, my uncle, who lives with a mental illness, said the worst part of having a mental illness is being told that you have a mental illness. And one thing that's really important to understand is that you can recover. And what does recovery mean? Recovery means you're able to live a full life and deal with your challenge in a very healthy way. And this is true whether it's a mental illness or a substance abuse or chemical dependency issue. And for me, I have lived with depression, anxiety, and obsessive compulsive disorder for my entire life. And to sum it up for you listening out there, as a child, I was hospitalized in a psychiatric hospital 3 times for extended periods. I was expelled from 3 schools for acting out violently. I was hospitalized once even because I tried to take my own life at age 10. So I really have a deep understanding of what it feels like to not only live with mental illness, but really be in crisis and not know what to do. And keep in mind, for the listeners out there, I grew up in a wonderful home with some great parents who really did their best with me. And a lot of times parents end up having a child who's struggling and they don't understand why. And I'm going to be talking a lot about that. For me, recovery has been all about wellness and taking care of myself. So I'm 37 years old right now, and I'm proud to say that my medication for me is music, it's exercise, it's meditation, and surrounding myself with good people. And that has really led me to be able to live a full life, to have a wonderful job and tons of friends. And many people that meet me tell me they can't understand how I even have a mental illness. They can't see it. And that's what I'm going to be talking about, is that it's something that you can't see. But recovery is possible if you are willing to take the important steps to get there.
And I really like, Mike, how you talk about finding recovery and that being the ability to live a normal life. We talk in mental health a lot about recovery doesn't necessarily always mean, sometimes people hear that word and they think that means the issue is completely gone. And so we do a lot of comparison to recovery from mental illness may be similar to recovery from, say, diabetes, where it's not that you get rid of the issue and it's gone for the rest of your life, but that you can find a way to treat the issue and deal with the issue to where you can lead a full and meaningful life. And I really like how you relate back to that as well.
Yeah, no, I believe we're in a society that likes quick fixes. If you're having an issue with your car, you want to get it fixed. You just want to find the right mechanic who's going to find out what the issue is and pay what you got to pay and get rid of it. And a lot of times when people are living with a mental health issue, they just quickly want to get it dealt with. And that's understandable. That's the way our society works. What I have learned is that there's actually a beauty behind having a mental illness, is that it can teach you a lot about yourself. And I actually did a TEDx talk about this, titled Mental Illness is an Asset, where I'm up there selling it like it's something that you want. And I recently wrote an article about lessons that I've learned from my depression. And so in my recovery, I still struggle with the same issues that got me hospitalized, except rather than fight them and try to get rid of them, I'm using them as a tool to learn more about myself. And the beautiful thing, it's not only helped me learn about myself, it's improved my relationships with friends and family, and even helped me improve my income.
Hey, and there's nothing better than being able to improve an income, right?
Nothing wrong with that, right?
That's a great thing. So we will have our National Recovery Month event, an evening of recovery, on September 8th in the evening. At 5:30, we will be serving pizza, and all are welcome. It's come and enjoy as long as it's available. Once it runs out, it's out. At 6 o'clock, our event will start, and we will do some local recovery stories and speak with some local recovery agencies such as Celebrate Recovery and NAMI. And some of those places will have booths set up to be able to get information to find out about some of those self-help organizations that are in our area. And then at 6:30 approximately, we will have Mike Veny talk as our keynote speaker. And we're really excited to see everyone there. This is free to the public, and we welcome everybody to join us and help us celebrate recovery and help us celebrate those individuals who have found recovery from mental illness, as well as those who may still be suffering and need the encouragement to find their way to recovery. And Mike, do you have anything else that you'd like to say?
Yeah, I just wanted to say this again. It's going to be my first time ever in Kansas. So if you're listening, I would love for you to come out, and I'd love to meet you, because you will be the first people that I get to meet when I come to Kansas. And I will be making sure to stay around afterward to talk with anyone that wants to talk. If we have time for questions after I'm done, I will definitely take those from the audience. But if you want to come introduce yourself to me, I would love to meet you, and I will hang out as long as I can until they kick us out of the building.
Now, where is this event going to be taking place?
It is in the Parsons Municipal Building basement.
Do people need to pre-register or
No,
anything?
just show up and come and join us to celebrate recovery.
Well, Mike, it's been very enjoyable visiting or listening to you and Monica, and appreciate you taking the time to visit with us this morning. I'd like to welcome you to Kansas. I'm glad you're coming. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful trip and a wonderful visit.
Mike, we're excited for you to get to see our little part of the world down here in Southeast Kansas. I think and I hope that you'll really enjoy it down here.
Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to being there.
And thank you for visiting with us this morning. You've been listening to Let's Talk with Mike Veny and Monica Simpson, talking about an evening of recovery coming up on September 8th in the basement of the Parsons Municipal Building.